Hi, this is Davidian Lyon, and I'm here to discuss splenic authority. To have splenic authority means you have a defined spleen and an undefined solar plexus and an undefined sacral center. You're either a projector or a manifester. Your truth and survival are in the now. Your body is survival conscious. There's a particular protection awareness that is always alert even when you aren't. And your authority informs you by instinct and intuition what is and what is not healthy or correct for you in the present moment. But this information is regularly in a state of flux and is subject to change with changing conditions, moment to moment. It's not that danger is lurking with your every step, or each move you make is fraught with danger, but this is the type of early warning system you have working for you 24/7. Now, if you don't have any integration channels, particularly the 5710 channel or the 5720 channel, then the intel that your spleen is sharing with you may not show up for you as this super survival-oriented aspect of splenic authority. Integration channels are dialed into the person's survival response, and they're very empowering channels, but really only for the person who has them, and they're not required in order to have splenic authority. In other words, you can have splenic authority without them. There are plenty of splenic authority people who don't have integration channels, like the 4426 channel going from the ego to the spleen. And they may not experience their splenic authority as a supercharged primal early warning system like the one I just described with the wolf. For them, it's more subtle, like perhaps a quiet force overrides or overtakes control of the body, like you're a channel or an avatar of some other life force that has your best interest in mind. Maybe you have your splenic authority from having a connection from your root to your spleen. That produces another flavor. The root, for instance, has an adrenalized quality to it, and that pressure may show up in your body a variety of different ways. Again, it would be something for you to check into. You could even have more than one of these channels. So how that intuitive hit reaches you, how it feels inside your body and shows up for you, could be very different from the next person who has splenic authority. It's very particular to how you are wired. And if you only have one channel from your spleen to another center, that may feel one way, and that could be augmented by additional channels going from your spleen to other centers. Or even multiple splenic channels going to the same center, as is in the case with the root. How that energy feels inside your body due to a connection to your root, or due to a connection to your throat, or due to a connection to your G center, or due to a connection to your ego, can vary widely. It can also be quite a bit different if you're a manifester versus a projector. So I'm in no way telling you how this is going to show up for you. I'm simply pointing out that there could be a variety of ways that this information gets transmitted, and it's up to you to figure out how your spleen is speaking to you, because that's the voice you want to listen to. That's what you want to let guide your life and major decisions. I also don't have this authority. I'm emotional, which basically is the opposite of this authority. So I can only speak in generalities about how this operates. I hope you'll let us know in the comments how it works for you. Oh, to be clear, I'm not saying this guiding force controls you like you have no choice, but that it's a subtle, or sometimes not so subtle, impulse that you can either flow with and be led by it, or you can ignore it, and it can atrophy to some fractional component of what it could be in your life. And again, this information that your spleen is communicating to you is solely based in the now, telling you if something is healthy for you or not. You may receive a no one moment, and then 5 minutes later your spleen may say, yeah, that feels healthy, to the same thing it said no to earlier. This can be particularly challenging as the spleen calls on you to act immediately and has no awareness of the future. So even 10 minutes later, your spleen may tell a different story, and what was correct before no longer is, or vice versa. It really is living at the edge of your seat. Your mind may argue with the spleen's advice and put up a more compelling argument about why the spleen's warning should be ignored. What the mind is unable to grasp is that there are very subtle energies afoot below the radar that connect to different circumstances affecting our outcomes of survival and success, in a sort of domino effect that's intimately tied and aligned with our timing. So something that is wrong may be wrong until the correct window presents itself that leads to a more ideal outcome. Have you ever seen the movie Sliding Doors with Gwyneth Paltrow, where her entire life is altered by whether or not she gets on a subway train? They show you both alternate realities, one where she gets on the train and the other where she just misses it. The tricky thing is that your spleen often communicates its whispered or energetic warning or blessing to you in a very, very subtle manner, much quieter than how your mind speaks to you. So you have to train yourself to hear its little plea or prompting, or else you'll miss it. It won't hold up to the scrutiny of your mind because it doesn't stay in the debate. It says its piece once, so to speak, and then it's up to you to listen to it or ignore it. So when you're confronting some situation or person and your spleen gives you its lightning quick counsel, those non-repeating, strong, or probably much more often subtle intuitive hits in the moment, just know that your mind will have ample opportunity, if you allow it, to rationalize why you should ignore your intuition. It's real easy for the mind to creep in after an intuitive hit and challenge what you experienced right then. If you're caught up in whatever emotional drama you have absorbed and amplified, you can easily miss its warning. It's worth mentioning that when splenic authority people have a defined ego, particularly if that defined ego has a channel connecting it to the spleen, because that can make it even more difficult to separate these two information hubs. Also, that ego, being a motor, can pull you into things that may not be correct for you. Your defined ego may give you the I want that, or I want to do that, or I want to achieve that, or that's going to help me rise prodding, all of which may help you survive the material world and can indeed add valuable intel to your decision-making process, but your desire to attain some goal should never have the final say. That 4426 channel can be very good at helping you pivot your sales tactics or marketing in the now, and adapt your message to the clients in front of you, which is tremendously helpful to your material world survival, like in an important sales meeting or on stage to recapture your audience's attention. But it's your spleen that's concerned with what is healthy for you, and it sees the big picture, not just a short-lived win. So if you ignore the risks that the spleen presents and just go for the gold or glory, you're more likely to experience a bitter or anger-inducing outcome. Your spleen knows best, and that ego speaks louder, so it can drown out your super subtle single-serving splenic guidance and can dampen what may be an appropriate fear or survival response. And the fact that your ego is a motor means that it's giving you energy to do the thing it wants to do. And being a projector or manifester means that you are not an energy being. I mean, you have some energy, but you don't have the renewable life force energy that a defined sacral provides. So that influx of energy may be very alluring and seductive. So it's not just your mind's influence that you need to be aware of, which derives its voice from your undefined centers, but your defined ego can also muddy your waters. Put more simply, your will to do something should not override the danger your body is presenting to you in real time. Just see it when you're looking through that ego lens. See how it's flavoring what you're looking at. Approximately 11% of the population has splenic authority. The sensation, or means by which your spleen communicates with you, differs in each person. So if you aren't already clear, you'll need to investigate how it's communicating to you. Just know if it's speaking to you in words, it's not your spleen, it's your mind. In human design, the spleen's domain is your lymphatic system. Your awareness comes from having little virtual tongues, ears, and noses all over your body that touch, taste, smell, and hear your environment. And remember, this intelligence speaks only once, and if you miss it, you miss it. It's understandable that you may be uncomfortable having such a subtle and quiet authority. Being splenic can certainly be challenging, and sometimes splenic decisions can be at the level of life or death. You can find yourself being warned in the now about an impending threat to your survival, health, or well-being, or given the green light to proceed. Of course, your intuition is not always going to be about something so dramatic, but its advice could certainly be the difference of your being led towards success or not, or avoiding less than ideal circumstances in whichever area you're facing. Sometimes the information hits you so quickly that your body is already in motion, moving you towards or away from something before you even know what's happened. In order to be receptive and in a position to hear your splenic intuition, it's important for you to relax, remain attentive in the moment, and just trust that your spleen is working towards keeping you alive and letting you know in the moment whether something is healthy for you or not. This could be a direction you're heading, a person you encounter, an environment you enter, or even opportunities that present themselves. There's no need for you to do anything other than be very attentive to this quiet inner counsel, because it will require you to tune in deeply to your physiological perceptions. You will usually have only a small window of time to course correct, and you will need to be willing to act accordingly with whatever your spleen dictates, regardless of the consequences. Easier said than done, for sure. But the more you do this, the more you'll see how you're being protected. An example of this might be that you're on your way to a business dinner with your boss and a potential new client, and everything is fine until you arrive at the restaurant, are about to go in, when your spleen whispers the signal to not go inside. You hear it guiding you away, but then your mind quickly creeps in and refutes the warning and tells you, "What are you, crazy? They're expecting you inside, your boss will be ticked off, and the client may be upset as well if you don't show." In such circumstances, you may not like the perceived consequences of not showing up, and since your spleen will not repeat the warning, it's difficult not giving into your mind's compelling, yet wrong, rebuttal. So you go in. You have dinner and then get food poisoning, or you have one drink too many and embarrass yourself, or have some other bad result. Your spleen warned you that what you were about to do was not healthy for you, but you ignored it and caved into your mind's pressure, only to suffer consequences that were worse than canceling last minute. There is great wisdom and protection for you when you listen to your spleen's alerts, warnings, notifications, and distress signals. Just rest assured that you will know instinctively when something is right or not for you. Experiment with honoring your spleen's guidance more and more in determining what is and isn't safe or correct for you in the moment. It requires trust that your spleen will take you towards what is correct and healthy for you and away from those things that harm you, be they people, opportunities, or actions. And one more thing, hospitals around the world are filled with splenic authority people who exasperatedly say, "I freaking knew I shouldn't have whatever it was," or "something told me not to do whatever it was, and I did it anyway." Don't be that person. Experiment. See what happens when you follow your strategy and authority, and see what happens when you don't. What's your mind's track record in consistently leading you to good results? Thank you very much, and good luck with your experiment.